This week, I spot something a little unnerving.
Slightly worrying, isn't it?
Eat a delicious cheesy sausage.
It's no cheesy, it's just spat in my face.
And discover the cheapest way to get from one side of Singapore to the other as I take 2 flights for less than the price of a taxi.
Well, good morning from Singapore Changi Airport. I have a flight to catch today from an airport on the other side of Singapore, but there's a bit of a problem. You see, the airport on the other side of Singapore isn't actually in Singapore, it's in Malaysia across the border, which means that getting there is a little bit of a problem. You see, plan A was to get a taxi across to the border with Malaysia. Then you can hop on a train across to Johor Bahru and then get another taxi across to the airport there. Unfortunately, I left it to last night to book that train. It went online and the trains are all fully booked for today. Yay! So plan B was to try and get a car to drive me across the border, which is pretty difficult really because it's a long way. It's about 30 miles. But then you have to sit for hours trying to cross the border. It ends up costing an absolute fortune. It's like $200-300. It's kind of like asking your friendly Uber driver to nip you across from California into Mexico. So that leads us to plan C. All my glasses are steaming up, which is to take a flight from here to Johor Bahru. But see, the problem is Johor Bahru is only 30 miles away, so there's no direct flights there from Singapore. Instead, I've got to take a flight halfway across Malaysia and back, and for some reason it's still a fraction of the price that a taxi would cost me to get across there. So let's go and get checked in. Thank you. Alright, so we're flying on AirAsia today. Not the 80s band, the low-cost airline, and they're going to take me up to Kuala Lumpur, quick connection there, and then back down to Johor Bahru, hopefully saving me a lot of stress, a lot of money, a little bit of time. It's going to take about the same amount of time as a taxi would cost, so let's go and do it. So it's far too early, I still need caffeine, and I've just checked the Priority Pass app, and apparently there is a lounge here in Terminal 4 that I can get access to with Priority Pass, so let's go and check it out. It's called the Blossom Lounge. Hello there.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right,
Enjoy the lunch.
thank you.
I got into the Blossom Lounge with my Priority Pass, which I find really handy whenever I'm flying in economy or on low-cost airlines without lounge access. If you use my link, you'll get 30% off a membership to Priority Pass. For now though, the most important thing to me was getting some caffeine inside me.
Right, I had caffeine, nice. And they haven't got much food here, actually, to be honest. I mean, it's 5 in the morning, so maybe it's too early yet, but they do an omelette. I don't know about you, that don't look like no omelette that I've ever seen before. But he assured me it is in fact omelette and not boiled bananas or some other stuff, so let's try it. I've got some hash browns just in case the omelette's a disaster. And if I made an omelette like that for Rage at home, by the way, she'd crown me and she'd never let me make an omelette for her again. Let's try it. It's vaguely eggy, vaguely eggy. If you squint your eyes a bit, you could probably call that egg, I don't know. I might eat in Kuala Lumpur. When I was looking at this flight last night up to Kuala Lumpur, one of the options I looked at was to get Jetstar up to Kuala Lumpur on their 7:15 flight this morning. Obviously, I ended up going for the AirAsia because it meant I got an extra 20 minutes in bed because it goes 20 minutes later, but I've just saw the screens and the Jetstar flight is now delayed by 7 hours. It's not going until 1:30 this afternoon. So I'm pretty pleased I chose AirAsia.
Before too long, it was time to head down to the gate where my plane and this guy's feet were waiting for me. Seriously, if you put your bare feet where people have to sit in airports, we just can't be friends. I'm sorry. But at least with all the technology in Singapore Airport, getting on the plane should be fairly quick and easy today. Or maybe not.
There you go. Technology. It's good when it works.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Thank you.
With all that out of the way, it was time to get on board my ride up to Kuala Lumpur.
Hi, good morning.
AirAsia's A320neos have a pretty standard all-economy configuration with 186 seats in a 3-3 layout and a rather tight 29 inches of legroom. Hi then, welcome on board the AirAsia, not Eurasia, Airbus A320neo. The legroom is very tight. I'm 6'5", remember, my knees are sort of touching there, and we've got the whole low-cost airline sort of adverts everywhere and things, but the seat's not massively comfy either, but that's okay because this flight costs peanuts and it's only about an hour long, so I'm not really complaining. Typical Singapore, windows misted up though, so it's going to be fun trying to film through that when we take off. But anyway, we are off to Kuala Lumpur today. Looking forward to the flight. My first flight today then took me north to Kuala Lumpur. Flight time on this leg was 42 minutes, cruising at 22,000 feet. Right, so there's Johor Bahru down there. Just have to take off, that's where we're actually heading. Crazy, we're literally going from there to there, and it's cheaper to get a flight via Kuala Lumpur. Crazy. Now, I don't mean to be funny or anything. Something coming out of the engine, I don't think that's healthy. I'm not by the way, I have to disclose this with the fact that I'm not an aircraft mechanic. That stuff that's coming out of the engine wasn't there when we took off, but it is now. Slightly worrying, isn't it? Fingers crossed it's going to be alright. Thankfully, I wouldn't have too long to worry though, as we were soon starting our descent into the Malaysian capital. Right, we've been airborne for about 10 minutes and we just started our descent down into Kuala Lumpur. It's an even shorter flight on the way back as well. Welcome to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Now to get on a flight down to Johor Bahru. There we go, immigration done, security done, nice and easy. Now to the gate, and I need a wee. It seems these are only K gates down here, and my flight's going from J. So where's J? Hey, excuse me, I'm just trying to get to J gates.
You must go upstairs, Vixen.
Back upstairs?
Yes.
All right, okay, thank you. All right, back upstairs. Aha, J gates this way, right. Now, I seem to spend half my life travelling around the world, and like anyone who travels around the world regularly will tell you, getting access to your favourite streaming services on the go can be pretty difficult. Services like HBO Max and Peacock are pretty much impossible to get hold of outside the US, which means whenever I want to watch my favourite TV shows like The Office, well, it can be pretty hard, really.
That's what she said. Or he said.
So it's thanks to this week's video sponsor Surfshark that I'm able to watch the TV I enjoy anywhere I travel in the world. Surfshark's a VPN that lets you appear as if you're in a different country when you connect to the internet, which means that I can watch my favourite TV shows anywhere in the world. Even better, it means I get to catch up on my British TV while I'm here in the States. It's a win-win. Aside from that, it keeps your internet connection nice and secure, even in countries that closely monitor your internet access and maybe even block certain websites. To install Surfshark, all you do is install the software, press the button to connect, and hey presto, you're connected anywhere in the world you want to be from, and that has some serious benefits. It means thanks to Surfshark I can get my fix of young Sheldon in India, I can watch David Attenborough in Africa, or even catch up on Only Fools and Horses here in Miami. Surfshark's giving you 3 months absolutely free when you use my promo code Noel Phillips at surfshark.deals/Noel Phillips. That's surfshark.deals/Noel Phillips.
Right, so the meal options here at Kuala Lumpur in this terminal aren't much better than they were in our lounge. But made it to the gate. I went to a 7-Eleven. I picked myself up a protein shake and a cheesy sausage. That's cheesy, it's just spat in my face. Yeah, quite nice though. There's no plane here yet though at the gate. Hoping it turns up soon.
Eventually, though, a plane did turn up to the gate, although it turned out it wasn't, in fact, mine, because then this plane turned up at the next gate and my gate was moved over there.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you. Alright then, next leg, back on board, seat 3A this time. This is a standard A320, the old school one. It's not a Neo, so the seats are a little bit softer, but they're also a little bit more well worn. But that's okay, because we've got a short hop now down to Johor Bahru, back down to Johor Bahru. It should be about a 40-50 minute flight, I think, on this special livery A320 as well, which is pretty cool. We don't have all the same adverts on this flight that we did on the previous one. I think there's space for one there. Maybe we could get a Noel Phillips advert on AirAsia. Click here with my face.
My next leg then took me back south to Johor Bahru. Flight time on this leg was 33 minutes, cruising at 19,000 feet.
Right then, airborne from Kuala Lumpur, heading back down south to Johor Bahru. Can I just say, by the way, how flipping efficient AirAsia are with their turnarounds? That's insane. The plane literally arrived from its previous flight. Everybody got off while we were already starting to board. Got on the plane, the seat was still warm from the previous passenger, and we pushed back 5 minutes early. They had like a 20-minute turnaround on the ground in KL. Crazy. Well done, AirAsia, though. That's brilliant.
And once again, after an incredibly short hop, we were soon starting our way back down to the ground, starting our descent into Johor Bahru.
We are pleased to inform you that we have landed 15 minutes ahead of schedule.
So here's the important bit then. How much did this little trip cost and how much time did it save? Well, I was quoted $200 for a taxi that, depending on traffic, takes around 2 hours. The bus and the train option would take around 3 hours and cost me $26. My flights, however, cost me the grand total of $47, and including the layover in Kuala Lumpur took me just 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Thank you. Right then, welcome to Johor Bahru, 30 miles away from where I set off this morning in Singapore, and we're back down here. Well, I have to say, as airlines go, low-cost airlines at least, AirAsia weren't that bad, were they? For the price that cost me as well to come from Singapore to Johor via Kuala Lumpur, cheaper than a taxi. A lot more fun as well, slightly longer time-wise, but it was a lot more fun than getting a taxi, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm off to get my next flight, which just so happens to leave from here at Johor Bahru. So thank you so much for watching. As always, be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.